everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, as you will be able to tell, I am somewhere that is not Bristol, not my home. I'm actually in a hotel room in a place called Fort William, which is up in the Scottish Highlands. As I look out from my window, I can see big hills everywhere, and I'm super excited to be here because from tomorrow I'm going to be taking part in Beyond the Ultimate Highland Ultra, which is an 125-kilometer ultra marathon over 3 days, which is on average a marathon a day, but in reality it starts off with 50 kilometers and steadily decreases from there over the next 2 days. As I film, I am just sorting out the last of my packing. Obviously I've packed everything to bring up here, but I'm just making sure, triple checking that I have everything that I need for this run, and I'm going to take you through what I've got, what we need to bring, and I'm going to have to do some shopping this morning as well because I ordered a bunch of stuff to arrive and it didn't arrive before I left, and I didn't realise because I only packed the night before I left. So that's my own fault. Thankfully, Fort William is kind of the home of a lot of adventuring up here in Scotland, and so they have loads of outdoor shops, so I hear. So I'm going to go on a bit of an explore this morning. My train to get the last leg of the journey done isn't until 1:40 this afternoon, so I'm going to go out, I'm going to have breakfast, do a bit of shopping, have lunch, then get on the train. That's an hour-and-a-half train journey to get to Malig, and then I have a boat from there to get to the place where we're going to be racing. Did I mention it was remote? It's really remote. It also has the most inaccessible or remote pub in the whole of the UK on the mainland, so we will be heading there at some point, I have no doubt. But yeah, first of all I need to pack, and then I can do the racing, and then I can go to the pub. That is the order of things. As with most races, this race has a pretty strict kit list, and that is obviously for safety. Because we're going to be out in the mountains all day for 3 days and camping overnight, there needs to be certain things in place to make sure that we don't get injured or get hypothermia, which is very possible actually because the weather we were told was going to be between 5 and 25 degrees. It is 8 degrees, so it's very much on the lower end of that sort of scale, and it's going to be pouring rain as well for most of the time. It is not currently pouring rain, and apparently you can get all 4 seasons in one day, so I'm hoping that it won't be raining continuously, but there's a good chance that it's going to be raining for a lot of the race, so we have to have a lot of kit with us, and unfortunately, I think it's unfortunately because I'm not that strong, unfortunately we have to carry our kit for the most part with us on the run, which means that I will be carrying the heaviest bag that I've ever run with because of catching COVID. I've been unable to train with it because it only arrived when I was in quarantine, so that's going to be interesting, but hopefully all will be fine, and I have a strong chance of hiking most of the run, so hopefully that will be fine. Okay, let's look at what we have to bring. So what we can do is separate out our stuff into what we are running with and what is going to stay at camp. So we have a drop bag, but the drop bag has a weight limit of 3 kilos, and that has to include sleeping bag, sleeping mat, warm clothing. This is a large puffer jacket from Kathmandu. Warm clothing. I think I mentioned that it was going to be extremely cold. I have here my ski thermals. They're really good and warm for that, not that much weight and bulk, so they're really useful. I then also have a jumper, some Tala trackies. These are the warmest trackies that I've got. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I wear them all winter. But I will also be wearing them up here because there's nothing worse than being cold after a long day out on the mountains. A snood. Not snood, what are they called? Buff. A buff. Dry socks, again, almost nothing worse than having wet feet when you want to be dry. And then we got all of my sort of toiletries, hand sanitizer, deodorant, makeup. This is for medical stuff. Rehydration salts, they're part of the mandatory kit. Drugs, and spare GoPro battery. More warm stuff, spare torch, more warm stuff. So that is my drop bag. That's what I'm bringing. That's what I'm leaving at camp, and that is at the very limit of what I can bring. Along here, we have what I'm going to be racing with, and that includes wet weather gear, tape seams, jacket and trousers. I'm going to try and switch these out for some more packable, lighter ones because they're actually quite heavy. Although they are very waterproof, they're actually quite heavy. So I'm going to see if I can find some replacements for those and put those in my drop bag. One sports bra, 2 pairs of leggings. I'm wearing the other pair at the moment because I don't like wearing wet clothes, but there's a good chance that they'll both be wet anyway. Spare socks, another buff, warm pants, 2 times dry warm base layers, and a top. All my chargers in a dry bag, and my sun god glasses, that they're photochromic, so they go dark if the sun decides to show its face, which it'll probably not, so they'll probably stay light for the whole thing. And then we have food. I've packaged out my food into the three individual days. I got all of this from either Firepot or from Base Camp. Some of it was gifted, just FYI. But these are the things I bought also for the Azores, and I loved them. So very excited to try some new flavours. I had the chili non carne when I was out in the Azores, and I thought that was brilliant. But I'm trying various different flavours. I don't actually think this is going to be enough food, but I think I've just got to deal with it because I don't have any space for anything else and I haven't planned that well. But each dinner has around 800 calories, each breakfast has around 650. Then I've got snacks, these are nearly 300 calories each. These are 200 calories. And then I've got the equivalent of gels as well. One actual gel, which I found in a drawer. All of these wrappers are compostable. I won't be chucking these on the side of the trail just because obviously littering is not cool. If they did accidentally fall out, they would biodegrade eventually. So that's why I get these. But I put them in my compost at home and they disappear pretty quickly. And then I've got post-run protein for recovery and a coffee in the morning. Every morning, a different coffee. I don't drink that much caffeine, so hopefully that will give me a much needed boost for each of the days. Then I have my medical kit. I'm not going to bore you with all the supplies in there, but there's lots of supplies and a whistle, and then a packable, collapsible keep cup. So that is it. This is my bag. It's Camelback. As I said, I haven't been able to train with it. This is not something I'd recommend, but I really have no choice, so I'm gonna give this a go. It's got 2 litres of water in a bladder at the back, and then I've also got my 500ml bottles with me. I haven't decided whether I will use this or these, but I will decide on race day probably, because I won't bring both. It's unnecessary. We have 8 stations every 10 kilometers or so I will be able to refill the water. So it's not a massive problem if I don't have like 3 litres of water with me each day, because I will be able to refill as I go. I'll just decide that on the day, I think, tomorrow. Anyway, that's all my packing. I've got to put it away. I'm gonna get out of the hotel in 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna be heading to breakfast at a place called Wildcat Cafe, which was recommended by both this hotel owner and also one of my Instagram followers as well, so thank you for that. It's a vegan restaurant here. Apparently it's amazing. I had a look at their Instagram. It does look really good. So I'll be heading there probably for both breakfast and lunch and giving them all of my money. We've taken the 45-minute ferry across from Malik to here, and an hour and a half train journey this morning as well. Absolutely beautiful train journey, and it's beautiful here as well. Needless to say, as you might be able to tell, it's extremely cold, so I'm very wrapped up warm. I'm wearing all of my layers though, all of them, and this is the daytime temperature. So I dread to think what it's going to be like at night, but I reckon I will just be hopping around in my sleeping bag trying to keep warm. But for now, I'm going to collect all our kit and then make it across to camp number 1. So we're walking to where we're going to do registration and kit checks, and the race organiser is inexplicably carrying 2 sledgehammers, so it's a good start. Hey everyone, so I'm in the tent.
It's extremely stormy outside. This is the first time I've been out of the wind and the rain recently. I'm about to set out my tent mat and my sleeping bag as well, because I'm going to go and have the race briefing in a minute, and after that it will definitely be dark, so I'm going to be taking my torch across to that, making sure that I'm all prepped as well as I can be, so that when I come back I know where everything is and I'm not caught like not knowing where to begin for tomorrow's race. There's a lot of nervous tension, a lot of nervous chit chat, and a lot of people being very quiet and kind of keeping themselves to themselves as well. So I'm pretty sure that's nerves or maybe quiet confidence. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm projecting a little bit, but it's quite a buzz in the atmosphere, and I reckon that will just get more so at the race briefing. But then we'll come back, have some dinner. There's hot water here, so that's how we will be filling up our freeze-dried food, and then early bed, I imagine. It's one of the things I love about camping. Gotta go to sleep when the light goes, basically. Dinner tonight, dal and rice with spinach, 750 calories, and then bed. Simple. Good morning, everyone. It is 6:30 on day one. Last night was not such a good night's sleep. It is really cold, like less than 5 degrees. And I slept in my puffer jacket, in my jumper, and in my ski thermals, which are supposed to be my clothes for in camp outside, not in camp in bed. Anyway, it's fine, it's okay, I slept, and I'm gonna go and get some hot water now for my breakfast. What am I having this morning? Haven't decided yet. Got several options. Probably not that. Baked apple porridge. 660 calories, pretty good for a breakfast, and I'm gonna go put some hot water in that and have a coffee. It is 7 o'clock, race starts in just over an hour, and I'm listening to the rain on the outside of the tent. I don't know if you can hear it. It was very heavy a second ago. I'm thinking, what the hell have I signed myself up for? I was thinking last night how unbelievably unprepared I am for this, not just physically but also mentally. So today's going to be interesting because today is the hardest day. If I can get through today, I think I can get through the other days, but it's a big if. We'll see. Race starts in an hour. Got to eat up, drink my coffee and get going. And we're off. The air is very cold, but my heart feels fine, which is nice. I mean, I know I'm like 1 kilometer in, but 1 kilometer into my last run I could barely breathe, so this is good so far. My bag feels a bit flappy, but it's to be expected. I've never run with this pack before, and certainly not with this amount of weight in it, so it's to be expected that it's a little bit uncomfortable, but with all the layers that I have on, it's kind of bulking it out a little bit, which is good. And it's a beautiful course. The first 25k is sort of manageable, apparently. It's like track, and then beyond there it's a bit wild, wet and wild, and goes up a Monroe, so, or maybe not a Monroe, but one of the hills before a Monroe, and apparently it's quite rugged, and there's no checkpoints up there, so if I'm feeling a bit shitty after 25 kilometers, apparently I'm supposed to pull out of that day, but fingers crossed that won't have to happen. To be honest, I have no idea. Just gonna give it my best shot. Just started pouring rain. Sign of things to come, I think. It's very icy, very cold. All the layers going back on, but it is beautiful. Guys, look how we see sunshine. Sunshine! We are 8 kilometers, 5 miles in. Feeling all right. Feeling a bit chesty, not gonna lie, but positive. Just talking about how there's some point in a race where it starts to go very downhill, not physically, but like mentally and emotionally. And then beyond that point, you kind of come out of a rut, go into autopilot a little bit, just get it done. So I'm hoping the bad bits won't be so bad. The sun will stay shining, definitely won't. And we'll get to the end, so fingers crossed, long way to go yet. Windy here. I'm just running with Stu. We've been running together for how long? Like 4 miles, 5 miles. Yeah. Long time. Just chatting really, telling about a bit of everything, and that's what I love about these events is like we were just saying, you meet all sorts of people. Everyone's sort of on the same wavelength about things. Everyone's nice, and like I came here by myself. I didn't know if I was going to know anyone here. And you just meet people, like, I mean, what did you come by yourself?
Well, I pretty much came on my own,
yeah.
Someone up I'd never met before. We had a lift in the car for 8 hours together.
Oh yeah, you definitely get to know someone during that.
So, but otherwise, yeah, came completely on here.
Nice, and have you done many of these things before?
I've never done a multi-day.
Great, so we're in the same boat?
Certainly same boat, yeah.
Amazing.
I've done a few trail ultras, done a few marathons, but nothing like this, no, never.
Awesome, well, happy running. Thanks. Enjoy. About a kilometre at least of boggage at the moment, and both my feet are completely sodden, which is nice. Good way of cooling down very, very quickly. Beautiful though, absolutely beautiful everywhere, and so I'm keeping cheery by just looking at the views and eating a little bit of food as well. I've just had half my first human food bar, and I'll keep munching that over the next few kilometres. We are 10 miles in, still walking up a river slash bog slash stream slash anything wet and cold. Whoop. Been very slow going these last couple of miles, but to be honest, like, this is kind of what I expected most of the race to be like, and so it's not entirely taking me by surprise, but my feet are very cold. But the sun is still shining, the views are just beautiful, and everyone seems in a good general mood. Just went knee deep in cow poop, which you will maybe remember that I practiced with Esme on our long run in Bristol. This was a little deeper and a little colder. It's like frozen cow poo. Hey ho, we move. Hey everyone, so we are 14 miles, 22 kilometers in, and we're just going through a little wooded section at the moment. And last night we had a talk from one of the locals here in Neustadt talking about their rewilding scheme, and we've been going through a lot of deer fences because there are lots of sections of the peninsula where
they've shut deer out to allow the forest to regrow, because during the Industrial Revolution, Scotland sort of felled all their trees and opened up this sort of ground for hunting deer and then grazing sheep and goats and all that. And so they're trying to reintroduce the trees to be able to reintroduce more wildlife that would have been native to this area. It's really interesting to hear about, and I think it's quite a successful project. They're building wildlife corridors by building around the edges of the existing forest and increasing species diversity and all this sort of stuff. So very interesting to hear about and very nice to now be running through. Aid station numero uno.
So this is checkpoint 1, we've actually moved it slightly closer. So
23.86 kilometers. Right, we are 25k in, 25k to go. This is the tough bit of the race, apparently, as though the first half wasn't tough. And this is like a little gentle uphill and then a big steep uphill for most of the way, and then the very steep downhill and a bit of undulations into camp. So I'm having a gel block. My energy is definitely lower than it should be, but I'm hoping that if I just plod on, that I'll get to the end sometime today. We're just over 30 kilometers in. It's been quite undulating recently, which means we've got a small amount of running, but to be honest, pretty tired. So been trying to take it a little bit easy, especially as we've got to obviously do 2 more days, 75 kilometers after this. So no point killing myself today and then not being able to do the other days. 30k means 20k to go. Less than half a marathon, standard sort of Sunday long run distance, maybe. Trying to get enough food down me as well, and I've just filled up my water with electrolytes, so grabbing some of those. Kilometers in, and it's just started raining again. It's quite light, but it's quite cold, very icy rain, so I'm gonna stick on all my clothes again just as I was getting warm. I'm gonna cool down again, but hey, 17 kilometers to go. Yay! Look at that though, absolutely beautiful. Pretty sure that's not the route. Okay. That was the route, that's now the route. We're 34.5k in. Just had my second bit of real food. Very nice flapjack actually. We just summited something. I think I'm going to try and jog down here just to have a bit of a change of pace, to be honest. Feeling very, very tired and a little bit sick all of a sudden. Don't usually struggle with stomach stuff. I think it's just exhaustion, and my heart rate's like crazy high for the fact that we've just been hiking. but it is what it is. Keep moving, try and get to the end. On my lonesome again, running along this quite beautiful ridge, I guess, almost traversing actually kind of across the side of a mountain. Don't really know what's what next. We've done, yeah, literally just 35 kilometers now. I don't know if my watch is keeping up. I feel like we've done more than that, but probably just because I'm really tired. So not even done a 3 peaks yet, Yorkshire 3 peaks. So in reality I should be feeling better than I do, but at least it's beautiful. Just trying to get some food down and not vomit. Great checkpoint. Thanks guys. "38 kilometers in, 12 to go, on a bit of flat for 2 kilometers apparently. Everything hurts, but on the plus side, nothing in particular hurts. It's just everything. So, I'm not injured yet, which is a good sign, considering after today you've still got 75 kilometers to go. It's a beautiful loch, so stunning. We are 40 kilometers in, whoop, whoop. 10 to go, supposedly. It just started raining on us. We've gone up another hill. Still going the right way, which is a plus. What else do I have to report? Nothing really. My arm hurts from vlogging. So if I have arm dons tomorrow, it's your guys' fault. And one last thing, my heart rate is 170, and it's been 170 for the best part of 6 hours, which I feel like is nigh on impossible and definitely not healthy. So I have a feeling I'm going to pay for that tomorrow. It's definitely COVID doing its dirty work, and not very happy with that, but nothing I can do about it. Can't very well tell it to please slow down, other than by going slower, which is not an option because then I'm out here for longer and I just want food and to put my feet up, literally. So keep on plodding on. There's a small incline here, and then I'm hoping there's a nice long decline. Apparently it's just undulatory all the way to the end from here. So let's get it done. We've almost done a marathon and the rain has set in. I have a feeling it's here to stay for the rest of the day. So just wrapping up warm and getting to the finish as quickly as possible. We don't know if we're going the right way. They said if there are no flags It's either because you've gone the wrong way or because there's no other way to go. And so we don't know which one it is because we've been going and we haven't seen anyone in quite some time. But everyone seems to be following us this way. So either we're on the right track and everyone knows it, or we're on the wrong track and leading everyone to who knows where. Going the right way according to the satellite phone, but we stopped for a good amount of time trying to figure it out, so not great. Got a bit tired, don't like stopping, because if I stop I don't want to start again, and that's what happened. But I only got like 3.5k to camp, so that's good. I saw camp about 2 kilometers away, maybe 1.5 kilometers, so this is good news because I am done, absolutely done in, which isn't great because we've got 2 more days to go, but I think I'm just extremely hungry. Camp is just down there in the valley. I need to get some food. So much rhododendron here. Part of Neudart's reforesting and rewilding efforts is to get rid of all the rhododendron, so I think they've not made it across this bit. It is an invasive species, although it is completely beautiful and makes this cool like jungle here. Not supposed to be here, so they're trying to get rid of it. And it is a little bit in the way, to be fair. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how happy I am. This is camp. Well, this is the camp toilets. And the finish line.
Well done, yeah.
Thanks.
Step.
Good job.
Thanks.
Woo. Day 1 done. I'm absolutely destroyed, feeling very pleased with how it went. Surprisingly came in second woman, but it doesn't count until the end of day 3. So got back in 7 and a bit hours, and it's now the mad rush to try and get everything done, food in, water in, stretching, blah blah blah, tent set up before sunset, because things get a lot harder when it gets dark. And so I've been here shoveling my face with chili non carne and rice from Firepot. Massively rate it, by the way. This is the best flavour without a doubt. Saved it for the end of the longest day. And then I'm going to put my legs up, put my feet up like that, against the wall though, not just like in the middle of the air, because it drains stuff from them, and apparently that's a good thing. So yeah, really happy with today. The last 10k was horrendous. We had to stop, which I hated because we were going the wrong way, or we thought we were going the wrong way because we hadn't seen anyone. Turns out the other people were just an hour ahead of us. They were like literally an hour in front of us, so obviously they'd basically finished by the time we were at that point. So of course we couldn't see them, but we thought it meant that we'd gone the wrong way, so that was kind of annoying. And now I'm really tired, but I just need to keep my shit together because tomorrow we go again and we do almost the same again, and I honestly don't know how I'm gonna handle it.
Dinner number 2. Just a mini meal while we cheer in the rest of the runners. Oh, by the way, this is the camp. Not bad. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
My running career started from a completely vain point of view. It's completely changed my whole entire life.
And our primitive brain is always competing on 3 different things. So it's avoiding discomfort and pain.
It is just gone 8:30 p.m. signing off for the day. Had 2 dinners, had a nap, done some stretching, done all the things I should do, had a load of water, so I'll definitely be up in the night, and it is raining, but very, very necessary. But I hope you enjoyed watching today's run. I'm hoping that tomorrow will be similarly successful. We'll see, won't we? Tomorrow is another day of around 44 to 47k, I think. TBC. They just never bother telling you because they'll tell you a number and it will be different. So they just kind of, in this one, they've at least given us a range. So that's good. But I'm hoping that'll be successful. Right now I'm going to listen to the audiobook that I have downloaded. And then I'm going to go to sleep super early and wake up super early. See you tomorrow.